Hey, it's Joe Farrow with Geektoolkit, and today in sunny Washington, I'm going to review a solar security camera. Soliom is a company that does security cameras with solar panels on them, and they reached out to me and asked if I want to do a sponsored video, and I jumped at the opportunity. Two reasons. One is I was fascinated about solar cameras. I have been for a long while. Now, I live in beautiful sunny Washington, and I was always curious, would they work out here? The other thing is, a pan and tilt camera seems like something that would really solve one of the issues that I and many others have, and that is, how do you get really good coverage on a yard? You know, you can place a lot of cameras, and that's good because you get constant coverage, but then you're dealing with a lot of feeds. With this here, I can kind of move it to where I want to have the coverage going, or if I hear a loud noise in the night, being able to jump on my phone and move the camera around seems really appealing. In this video, we're going to talk about things like the price. We'll talk about features that are unique to this camera and that really make it stand out. We'll talk about some negatives of things that I wish that they had done better or that other cameras might have over this. And then at the end, I'll talk about a final review of what kind of customers would appreciate this camera and what kind of customers may want to search elsewhere. Let's talk about price. The Soliom camera lists for $199 on the Soliom website, but right now it shows as on sale for $160. It gets really interesting though, because if you look at Amazon, I found this as low as about $130, and there's a ton of coupons and discounts available. If you can find a recent review, sometimes they'll also have a coupon code that will bring it down to $99. So the price of this thing, let's say somewhere between $100 and $160, based on how good of a deal you can find. That being said, the reason price is important is it kind of gives us an idea of what the competitors and their feature set are that we're going to match this up to. I looked at other solar security cameras, and in the price range, Arlo is one of them that has the ability to add a solar panel to it. The average price of the Arlo with the solar panels over this device, if you buy them in bulk, was about 40% higher. And that doesn't give you the ability to pan, tilt, and zoom the camera remotely. The other camera that really comes into this is the Ring cameras, which also have the ability to get a solar panel, and a Ring camera with solar panel showed up for $160. That puts it about at the same price point, but again, it doesn't have the ability to move and some of the other features we're going to talk about. Let's talk about what it comes with out of the box. It comes with all of the things you need to get it up and running: the solar panel, the mount, screws, the camera, and the manual, of course. It also came with a little surprise that gave me either 6 months extra cloud storage or a micro SD card of 32 gigs. It does not come with a micro SD card in the box. It does take up to a 64 gig micro SD. It does not take anything larger than that. You'd want a class 10 card or something that's usable to actually do a lot of read writes if you were to buy an SD card to have local storage on it. It also has the ability to do cloud storage if you choose for a monthly fee. Let's talk about some of the features. On the front of the camera, you'll notice that there's 6 little lights here. It looks like something out of a science fiction movie. 4 of these are spotlights that can be turned on or off as you choose. The other 2 are infrared lights, so you can decide if you want to switch between IR light or the actual LEDs here that will give you that color night vision look. On the front center here is actually a passive infrared sensor, which is really fascinating. Passive infrared is a sensor that detects heat and motion. And the reason that's really cool is a lot of security cameras, especially lower priced ones that do motion detection, do it based on pixels that change. And that means that even just going from daylight to nighttime, or rain, or leaves blowing, or trees in the wind, all of those are detected as motion, when really what you want is something warm that's moving, like a human body. And that's exactly what this sensor is designed to do. It detects heat that moves. My other camera that does motion detection based on movement goes absolutely crazy here in Washington when it rains at night. This camera here was super efficient, and every time I got an alert on it saying that there was motion, it was an actual person or something going on in my yard, which I really appreciated. The solar panel is beefy and very well made. The other thing about this is the top here is metal, so it's got a bit of a burly, heavy build to it that seems very stable and seems like it's going to handle outdoors quite well. It's got 4 screw holes in the back here, very easy to mount. I mounted this to a fence post for the week I had it going, and it worked really well. On the back here, you've got the SD card port. This is where the SD card goes in for your micro SD, and you've got a reset button to reset it to factory defaults. To connect this to Wi-Fi for setup was really easy and slick. I just had a QR code on my phone. I showed it to the camera, and the camera picked up my Wi-Fi network information and was able to join immediately. So I didn't have to actually do a lot of typing to get this thing up and running. Going into the features a bit more deeper, this is 100% wire-free, which means there is no affordance here to actually hook it up to PoE or any kind of power. You mount this to a tree or whatever you want, and it's good to go. there is nothing on this that needs to connect to anything else. The solar panel is mounted to the camera. It has a wire that's connected, that's it. There's no PoE, no power, no networking. There's not even the option of adding that. It's basically all self-contained. It's a 1080p H.264 camera. Now H.264 is interesting in that it's an interleaved format, which means it uses the frames before and after it to do compression, to do analysis and figure out what's changing. I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that is what causes the blockiness when you're moving the camera around. So when you look at something and you move, it gets a little bit blocky. It takes it a second to get a clear stream. This is likely true of any H.264 camera, I would imagine. It's definitely true of all the ones I've used, but it's something just interesting to note. In practice, it's been very, very quick for response time. It loads up very fast in SD, and then you can switch it over to HD. So it starts out in SD when you load the app, but that's really nice because you immediately get some instant response of what's going on. During the 1 week I had it, where I had weather like this up in Washington, the battery stayed 100% full the entire time and showed it's charging during the day. So it doesn't need direct sunlight to charge. It's actually a very efficient system that was able to charge even despite the clouds. Okay, what I'm doing here is showing the load time. You see it loads up pretty quick. This was actually over 4G. I'm going to swipe to the right here, and I can actually bring up the camera controls here. This is how we go left and right. There's a light bulb on the right-hand side. If I hit that, that actually switches us over to the color view and turns the floodlights on. And if you look down at the bottom here, I'm going to double tap, and this is a digital zoom, not optical, so it gets a little blocky, but there's a little rabbit in my yard. I'm going to zoom over to the left here just to show the camera motion and the speed as I'm hitting this. And then once I stop, you'll see it kind of get a little bit clearer. I can turn on the speaker for two-way audio. This button on the left there, it's muted. I can also hit the camera, which will take a snapshot, and that gets saved to the phone. Let's go get a picture of our little friend over here. There we go. So now I've taken a snapshot, and that's on my phone. The recording button here, this is actually recording to the phone. You can get recordings that get saved to the cloud or the ATF card. I'm sorry, the SD card. But you can also record directly to your phone if you want. The icon on the right shows if you're using the SD card or if you're using the cloud. You can bring up a camera to look for motion events and then scroll down. So right now I'm looking around the calendar. You'll see a little indications for events. These are the videos of me installing it today. So this is about the video quality of what was recorded. These all went up to the cloud. I was using the cloud 30-day trial that they gave me to test things out here. You can see on this view here, this is the overall camera view. You can add a device, and then you can get into this portion where you can add friends so that they can see the videos. We're going to go into the cloud services here and bring up the pricing so you can see what the pricing is for the different plans. They've got several different plans here, and there you go. See, for a year for $22, or you can also get a 30-day plan for $2. Now, like I said, that was off of the 4G. This is another demo of the load time just using Wi-Fi to show a bit of the difference. It just seems to be a little bit quicker and snappier on Wi-Fi, but it's kind of cool to see how fast it came up over 4G as well. So everything sounds really rosy. What is it really missing? Well, one of the things is, and I've got another video that talks about this, is Onvif support. It does not support Onvif, which means it doesn't support RTSP streams, which also means that the only way to get the video feed is through their application. Now, this is super important because their application is not made for Windows or Mac. It's only on an iPhone and Android system, so you have to have a phone to use it with this. If you're the type of user where you would use a phone to check your security cameras, then this isn't going to be a problem. If you're a home automation user, though, this becomes a challenge. Another downside is there is no AI detection. So because I can't take the RTSP stream and analyze it myself, there's no way for me to build anything smarter. If I were to put this on a front door, for instance, and have cars going by, the cars could trigger the motion alarm and I would get car alerts all day and have no way of filtering that out. Another downside of not having Onvif support is it requires the cloud and internet to view it. That means that you have to have their service up and your internet has to be up to actually view the video. You can't do it over your local network. That might be a concern for anyone that's a privacy advocate who doesn't want their video to go through a third party, or anyone who's concerned about their internet going down or just wants to have very quick access to the feeds. If you're a person that wants a simple, well-built camera at a great price, this is an amazing device. This will provide you all the coverage and security that you could want for a single location. If you're a person that's looking for a simple, easy to use security camera that's easy to mount and you don't want to run wires or do any electrical, this thing's amazing. You can put this almost anywhere. The ability to turn the turret is a game changer for location placing. If you're worried about like, where do I place my security camera? This thing can go almost all the way around and all the way up and down, so it really makes that problem a lot easier to solve. If you mostly do stuff on your phone anyway, then it doesn't matter if it doesn't have a PC or Mac component. You can always check your phone for your security camera feeds, and it will record locally or in the cloud, so you've got the option there. The people I would not recommend this to are your DIYers or the home automation enthusiasts who are looking to actually integrate this with another platform. It just doesn't have anything exposed that you can hook onto. If you buy cameras from multiple vendors such as Hikvision, Reolink, and so on, then you want to know that this is going to have its own app and it's going to be a separate experience from viewing those cameras. That's just the reality of the nature of how this is designed. However, if you're only going to get one security camera or if you're going to stay in their ecosystem, again, they have a great price. You can put everything in their application and solve that. So again, it's just based on what's going to be valuable for you. I'm lucky enough to have a vacation home, and I'm going to end up mounting this out there because that will be a great use of it. I can put it in one location, look and view if like a tree's fallen on the trailer, or look around the property. I have a bunch of deer that run around on that property, so I might get some great videos of that. It will be a great camera for that use, and I'm super excited to have it for that. For my own personal use as a home automation enthusiast and a DIYer, this camera doesn't fit the bill for me, but that doesn't mean it won't for you. Thanks for watching, and hopefully this review gave you the information you need to make the choice. I did a little bit different than I've seen other reviews. I see a lot of reviewers kind of recommend a product based on if they would use it, and I don't think that's necessarily fair. I think that all of us are different, we have different use cases, and some products that may not work for me might be great for another person. Like I said, this one is great for me, just not at my main home, but at my vacation place, it is the perfect camera that I've been looking for. I'm Joe Farrow with Geektoolkit. Until next time, I'll see you then.